Hi everyone, your Filipino lawyer here at your service. Today, I'm going to discuss how Philippine courts assess a rape accusation of a Filipina, who a Filipina is, and the characteristics of a Filipina from a legal perspective. What if your Filipina accuses you of rape? How do you protect yourself from false accusations in the Philippines? A false rape accusation can be very scary for foreigners. Imagine you are facing an accusation of rape. What will you say at trial, if any? We may say you're innocent and that you didn't do it. However, the phrases, "I am innocent," is not exonerating. It's difficult to get a witness in a rape case because usually there is no witness. So it's usually he said, she said. What you need is evidence. Make sure you save text messages, email, or any proof to show that your sexual encounter was consensual. Better if she admits that she liked it. Before I describe a Filipina from a legal perspective, let's quickly check how Filipina is defined. Under Merriam-Webster Dictionary, it defines a Filipina as a Filipino girl or woman. Its first known use of the term Filipina was on 1899. Its history and etymology for the term Filipina is Spanish. The Philippines was once called Filipinas, among other names, during the Spanish regime in the Philippines. But just for fun, let's check out the Urban Dictionary and see how they define a Filipina. The top definition of the term Filipina in urbandictionary.com is female. Filipinas are a good race to mix with other races to make beautiful or pretty kids. Well, definitely that's correct. Now let's see how Filipina P describes a Filipina. Check out this clip from Filipina P.
They like to assume we're all
Now let's get
virgins.
serious. Is that how Philippine law and the Supreme Court see a Filipina? How does the Supreme Court see a Filipina? The Woman's Honor Doctrine, or otherwise known here as Maria Clara Doctrine, is being observed by Philippine courts on abuse on women, most especially with respect to rape cases. The Woman's Honor Doctrine surfaced in Philippine jurisprudence in the year 1960. In this case, the Supreme Court affirmed the conviction of 3 armed robbers who took turns in raping a Filipina. The court said it is a well-known fact that women, especially Filipinos, would not admit that they have been abused unless that abuse had actually happened. Where does the Maria Clara Doctrine come from? The doctrine was named after Maria Clara, from Jose Rizal's novel Noli Me Tangere. Clara is characterized as reserved and shy and was later considered an ideal role model for women in Filipino culture. Are we stuck to the Maria Clara stereotype of a demure and reserved Filipino women? After 58 years since 1960, since the Maria Clara Doctrine surfaced, the Philippine Court in 2018, in the case of People of the Philippines versus Amarela Racho, reversed a ruling of 2 people convicted of rape. The High Court said that today, we simply cannot be stuck to the Maria Clara stereotype of a demure and reserved Filipino woman. The court somehow criticized the Maria Clara Doctrine for assuming that no Filipina woman of decent repute would falsely claim that she was abused. This has led to speculations that the High Court has abandoned the doctrine, Some feminist groups were concerned that the ruling reversal will empower rapists and disagreed with the court's assessment of the societal status of women. Has the High Court really abandoned the doctrine? The 2018 decision does not imply an abandonment of the Maria Clara doctrine, contrary to stipulations by critics of the ruling. The Supreme Court acquitted the accused based on inconsistencies in the testimony of the Filipina. The prosecution, in this case, miserably failed to present a clear story of what transpired. The court said that whether the Filipina's ill-fated story is true or not, by seeking relief for an alleged crime, the prosecution must do its part to convince the court that the accused is guilty. There were lingering doubts which are inconsistent with the requirement of guilt beyond reasonable doubt as quantum of evidence to convict an accused in a criminal case. Moreover, the Supreme Court spokesperson clarified that there was no abandonment of the doctrine, since the High Court can abandon a doctrine only during en banc or in full session. So what happened in the case of People of the Philippines versus Amarela and Racho? The Filipina testified that Rapist A raped her and Rapist B abused her 5 hours later. Also, the court finds it dubious how the Filipina was able to identify Rapist A, considering that the whole incident allegedly happened in a dark place. In fact, she had testified that the place was not illuminated and that she did not see Rapist A's face. This is what happened during the direct examination of the victim. Now, while you were under the makeshift stage of that daycare center, it was dark, very dark, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you didn't see the face of the accused because it was very dark, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
At the time that you said that while the accused was undressing you, you could not see his face. Would you confirm that?
Yes, ma'am.
What about his body?
No, ma'am.
Why, Miss Witness?
It was dark.
Her claim that she was forcibly brought under a makeshift stage, stripped naked, and then raped seems unrealistic and beyond human experience. She said, "Care center, where exactly did he bring you, Miss Witness?"
Under.
Under what?
Under the makeshift stage.
Please tell us, how did you fit in that makeshift stage, Miss Witness?
Because the flooring is about 2 feet high.
Since you said he pulled you towards the makeshift stage, what was your reaction, Miss Witness?
I was scared.
And what did you do?
I did not know what to do with then.
Now, after that, what happened, Miss Witness?
He pushed me under.
What happened after that?
He punched me in my abdomen.
What else did he do to you, Miss Witness?
I felt weak.
After that, what happened?
He undressed me.
When he was undressing you, what did you do, Miss Witness?
I was just lying down.
What else did he do to you while you were resisting his advances?
He boxed my upper left thigh.
What did you feel when he boxed your left thigh, Miss Witness?
I felt numbness.
So he was able to undress and box you under a 2 feet high makeshift stage.
Yes, ma'am.
Now you said that he undressed you, Miss Witness, and you said he also undressed himself. What then did he do to you?
He placed himself on top of me.
What did he do after that?
He inserted his penis in my sex organ.
From this, the woman would like us to believe that accused was able to undress himself on her and place himself on top of her while under a 2 feet high makeshift stage. It is physically impossible for two human beings to move freely under a stage, much more when the other person is trying to resist sexual advances. Moreover, the woman failed to mention how exactly the accused pulled her to the makeshift stage without any sign of struggle or resistance. If indeed she was being held against her will, the woman could have easily called for help or simply run away. The challenge to the woman's credibility is further supported by the medical findings of the medical legal officer. The court cannot completely rule out the probability that the woman voluntarily had sex that night. Moreover, the absence of bruises on woman's thighs when she said she was punched twice reinforces the theory that the woman may have had consensual intercourse. Looking at this case, it simply tells us that mere allegation of a woman having been abused cannot be conclusively given absolute credence if there are inconsistencies to her statement. But in reality, are the Filipinos today still the same as the Filipinas of yesterday? Perhaps not anymore. As the Supreme Court said, and I quote, "We cannot be stuck to the Maria Clara stereotype of a demure and reserved Filipino woman." Some women may have evolved for the better, becoming more independent and empowered in achieving their goals and contribute for the betterment of the society. However, there are some who have become evolved in a different way, who have become cunning and liberated in getting their desires even at the expense of their reputation and dignity. How is rape committed? There are two types of rape. The first type is through carnal knowledge or sexual intercourse, and the second type is through sexual assault. The first type of rape is committed by a man who shall have carnal knowledge of a woman under any of the following circumstances. First, through force, threat, or intimidation. Second, when the offended party is deprived of reason or otherwise unconscious. Third, by means of fraudulent machination or grave abuse of authority. Fourth, when the offended party is under 12 years of age or is demented, even though none of the circumstances I have mentioned earlier be present. The second type of rape can be committed by either a man or a woman. The act of sexual assault can be committed by inserting a penis into another person's mouth or anal orifice, or any instrument or object into the genital or anal orifice of another person. Do you know that a husband can be prosecuted for rape by sexual intercourse by his wife? But it does not work the other way around. The same thing with violation of RA 9262. Only men can be prosecuted for physical, emotional, and psychological abuse committed towards a woman. But a man who has suffered emotional and psychological abuse from a woman has no recourse against the woman under the Philippine law. Well, does that mean that only wives have the right to make their husbands their sex slaves or sex toys that they can access anytime they want? Just wondering. If you have legal questions about Philippine laws, or if you want to come to my country and you want to know how, or if you're here already and you have legal concerns, I have legal consultants standing by to help you. I put the contact information down below so you can call or email and get some help. Until next time!